Hey guys, BreakWizard59 here, today coming at you with yet another awesome vintage LEGO Star Wars set to review. And this is set number 4501, the Mos Eisley Cantina. It's ages 7 to 12, contains 193 pieces, and when it came out back in 2004, it originally retailed for $29.99 or $30 US, and once again $29.99 or 30 British pounds. So this is definitely an awesome set, a classic set from Star Wars in the year 2004. You can see this set, of course, has the three main focal points with your dewback. You have your actual cantina section, and then the Landspeeder. So without further ado, let's get into this review and start off with the 5 amazing minifigures. Alright, so the very first figure you get in this set is, of course, the Sand Trooper. And this is one of 2 exclusive minifigures in this set, meaning these figure variants weren't available in any other set up to this date. And this Sand Trooper, of course, sports the large backpack, as I'll show you in just a sec. But this is pretty much an ordinary Stormtrooper. You could see, of course, he has the torso detailing and no leg or arm printing. He, of course, sports his large staff as well as binoculars. And then he, of course, has the Stormtrooper helmet without the vents on his mouthpiece. Alright, here's just a quick look at the back of the figure. Once again, he has the large backpack with the 2 lightsabers. And, of course, he has minor back printing. And, of course, here is a look at the headpiece, as he, of course, has a plain yellow head. And the second minifigure in this set is Luke Skywalker, and this is, of course, the Tatooine version. So, fun fact, this was the very first minifigure to ever have leg printing in LEGO Star Wars, but you could see he has the pretty much plain white torso piece, along which actually moves on to the legs, and he, of course, has a few folds in the pants. He comes with a bit of a grim type of expression and the blonde colored hairpiece. Here's just a look at the back. As you can see, he has no back printing or alternate headpiece. Next off here, of course, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Ben Kenobi, and he's definitely a bit of a more simplistic figure. As you can see, he has the tan torso and legs with the minor printing on the torso. He, of course, comes with the gray hair and gray beard, with once again a bit of a grim expression. And, of course, like the figure before him, he has no alternate face or back printing. Next off, of course, we have Han Solo, and he was only available in a handful of sets back in the day, so he's definitely a bit of a more detailed figure. You could see, of course, he has the vest detailing with the black and tan, and then he also has some leg printing with the belt, and then you could see he has a bit of a smirk, as well as a pretty ordinary dark brown hairpiece. Here's just a look at the back. He also has no back printing or alternate face, and he, of course, sports his blaster. And the final minifigure, and probably the most sought after in this set, is Guido. And up for around 10 years, this was the only set you could get Guido from 2004 to 2014. And still, even with the release of the new Cantina, this figure has not gone down much in value. But there were a few main attractions to this figure, 2 of which one being the bright blue / teal type of color, which was definitely quite rare back in the day. But as you can see, this figure does have a tan torso with the blue printing to show his vest, and then he has some plain brown or tan or teal colored legs. And then, of course, this was the first time the Rhodian headpiece mold was introduced to LEGO. This figure, of course, does not have any back printing, but what really made it quite rare and sought after is the arm printing, which looks like such. So basically, you could see on the arm you have the line and tan colored detailing, which is supposed to represent his sleeves. And that's actually what really makes this figure go for quite a bit on Bricklink, as it cost a little over $30 to buy this figure. But those are the 5 minifigures included in the set. Now let's take a look at the actual set. Alright, first up we'll take a look, of course, at Luke's Landspeeder. And this is probably my favorite version of the many versions of the Landspeeder which have been released over the years from 1999 to present day. And this one definitely is actually quite unique, as it has a lot of the sand red colored brick, which is definitely quite a rare color. It's actually almost as if the color of like the rose gold iPhone. But anyways, let's just take a quick look at this vehicle. Now it is pretty simplistic, but at the same time definitely a very iconic vehicle here. As we just take a quick look at all the sides of the vehicle. Definitely you could see it has some great molds with the engine pieces, which we'll get into in just a sec. And so we'll start off here in the very front, where the first thing is, of course, that this was probably the first Landspeeder to have this type of pipe detailing, which would go all across the Landspeeder, which I think looks excellent. You could see, of course, we have a few grill pieces on the top for more detailing, and then you have your windshield. On the interior of the Landspeeder, it's quite simple. We have a couple of chairs and a steering wheel, along with a small control panel in the back. And then in the back of the speeder, you of course have your trunk or secret compartment, where you can actually hold Luke's lightsaber, which we have right here. And all you really need to do is just separate the two and place it inside. So definitely a cool little feature, but that is your Landspeeder. Alright, so here is a look at your dewback, which is the second part of this set. And definitely this is a very exciting creature. You can see, of course, it is in the sand green color, which is once again not a very common color, especially back in the day. And unlike the newer version of the dewback, this actually has a ton of mobility. So basically you can move the head quite a bit up and down. Same with the legs, they do move back and forth. And the tailpiece can move side to side as well as up and down. So definitely quite a bit of playability to this figure. You of course have the saddle here, which has two of the backpacks here. And then of course you have the reins, which lead up connected to the saddle. And that's where you would place your trooper here, as we'll remove that out of the way. And that's how he'd look on top. Fits in nice and snug. So that is your dewback. And finally you have your actual Mos Eisley Cantina, which isn't the biggest, but definitely gets the job done. So you can see here it is of course 10 studs by 8 studs. And you can basically have a decent amount of playability with this build, as this is in one of 3 different positions. Here is a look at the second position, where you would have your door and drink section spread out. So that gives a bit more of an interior to the model. And this is the final position you can add the cantina in, where you have both the door and the drinks counter wide open. This just gives a bit of a larger look to the cantina. And here's just a quick look at the back of the cantina. You can see, of course, we have the 2 large engine styled pieces here, and of course they curve in, giving it a bit of the more of the Mos Eisley architecture. We of course have a lot of sand blue parts and dark red parts, which definitely make it stand out. And then you have a couple of small domes on the top. So moving it back right around, this is just a better look at the interior here. And you can see there isn't too much to it, the main section of course being here. But on the very side you have on one hinge a small cup and a dispenser. On the other hinge you have your door. And in the center you have a table with a bit of a drink and a couple of seats. And this is actually depicting the scene where Han and Guido face off. So you can of course just place them here and recreate that scene. But what's really cool is there is a bit of a play feature here, and that is the table opens up, revealing a spot inside where you would actually put Han's weapon. So that's just a fun little play feature, and I mean that's pretty much it for this cantina. Here is a look at the box, which is in pretty much pristine condition except for one section here. But you can see, of course, we have the set information in the main box art here on the front. Here's just a look at the side here. And then the back, you could see we have an alternate build here. Just another one of the scenes, and then a look at our minifigure selection. Then at the very top, just another look as if you were to buy multiple. And then on the very top of the box, nothing too special, just some warning information as well as the image of the Stormtrooper. And then the other side, pretty straightforward and simple. So that is your box. And here's just a look at the instruction manual. Once again, same box art on the front. And what's actually kind of cool is they have this kind of like blueprint detailing on each page. And then on the very back, which is actually quite cool, they have information on some of the older sets, as well as a bit of a cool little advertisement with sets coming out back in 2004. So definitely super cool, but that is your instruction manual. And that's going to do it for the review of set number 4501, the Mos Eisley Cantina. So all in all, this is definitely a very solid set. But before we actually get on to the final thoughts, if you're looking to buy this set, you can find it on Bricklink for around $80, $85 cheapest for a used condition. It'll definitely go $120 plus if you're looking to buy it sealed. On the other hand, on eBay, which is a bit more expensive, it goes for around $90 used and around $140 sealed. So definitely those are your two primary sites if you're looking to obtain this set. So all in all, this is definitely a pretty good set. It gets its job done for what it was made to do. Now, nowadays, people still are upset that LEGO is starting to move away from that 10 cents per piece ratio for many of their LEGO sets. And this set actually, if you can see here, is 193 pieces. And it was a $30 set when it came out. So this is definitely over that 10 cents per piece ratio. But just the size of the set, it kind of makes up for it, as it does not really look like this is a 193 piece set. So this definitely gets the job done. I am actually kind of fine with the price. Nowadays, of course, that price is a lot higher, mainly because of the Guido figure, as well as the sand green dewback. So definitely the dewback looks pretty good. That's probably my favorite of the two versions of the dewback. The Cantina, yes, it is a bit small, and I would have definitely liked if they could have maybe, instead of adding the drink section, maybe added another one of these sections. But you know, that probably would have driven the price up. Maybe even included another minifigure. That would have been pretty cool, but you know, it's not completely necessary. One minifigure actually that I'm surprised they didn't include is Chewbacca, who was actually there at the Cantina scene. Maybe including him would have been pretty cool. But, I mean, this definitely is a pretty good set. I'll give it a 8 out of 10, as it's definitely earned it. And, I mean, I'd recommend this set if you have the money. I personally did buy this for $80 with the box and instructions. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this review. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or if you're a LEGO Star Wars fan in general. And don't forget to subscribe and check out some of my other LEGO Star Wars reviews and mocks, as I am working on a large 15-20 base plate Tatooine mock of Mos Eisley. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. This is BrickWizard59, and I'll see you all next time.